What's up everybody, my name's Danon and welcome to Ahnestly. I have used the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 1 earbuds every single day for the past year. These are my babies, I know them in and out. And I say this because I can say with 95% confidence that you won't need to watch a single comparison video after this one. So, how did the new Momentum True Wireless 2 earbuds hold up against the previous generation? Well, let's get honest. Sennheiser has changed nearly every single aspect of the Momentum True Wireless 2s. Let's get started with the most exciting stuff. Probably the most hype news is that these now add active noise cancelling, and it performs about just as well as it does on the AirPod Pros and the Sony 1000 XF3s. Now, for me personally, I don't find the noise canceling to be particularly amazing. It does a decent job at cutting out some of the lower frequencies, but let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys are hyped about. To me, the sound quality of the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless line is the best in the business. Like, there's nothing that holds a candle close to these guys. However, they did make some changes to the second generation, and if I had to sum it up, it would be that it's more technical and less fun. I think they made 4 big changes. The first one is it's a slightly wider soundstage. 2 is that there's better sound separation. 3 is it's definitely less warm. And 4 is that it's a little less muddy. It's hard to explain what that means, so I'm gonna try explaining it using a song that I am very familiar with and I use to test a lot of these headphones to compare differences. And that song is John Mayer's Gravity. You see, in the beginning of the song, there's a guitar riff. It goes, in the first generation, that is a lot warmer. In the second generation, it's a little bit tinnier, but that's what I mean by it's less warm. On top of that, when it gets to the end of that, the reverb in the first generation lasts for a long time. It's like, versus the second generation, it resolves faster. So it kind of ends faster, it's less muddy. But it means it's less fun because when you have all that reverb going, the sound sounds super full. It sounds like you're in a concert and the music is just bouncing everywhere. With this one, it resolves quickly and then it picks up the next one. And that's better sound separation. It's also less muddy in that sense. And that's what I mean by it's more technical. In terms of soundstage, you hear this cymbal being clicked, like and in the first generation, it sounded like the sound was coming like at the close to the bottom of my right cheek. But in the new one, it sounds like the cymbal is coming from the bottom of my chin. So again, just a slight bit wider. I know that was probably weird for some of you guys out there, but I hope that explains it better than using all this technical jargon. Check out Gravity yourself, and if you have both buds, hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. So did they improve the audio? Well, it depends on who you are. It depends on how you like to listen to music. If you're going running, I mean, do you want tinny music? Do you want things to be like resolved quickly, or do you want things to be like hype music, right? You want the music to be going. Versus if you're listening to something like a podcast or jazz or classical, you want things to be separated. You want things to resolve faster and not confused. And when you got like 6 minutes, you know, you want to be able to hear when that happens versus the piano going crazy. So it depends. It depends on who you are. You might be wondering, can I bring back the fun sound of the first generation to the second generation? And unfortunately, the equalizer inside of the app is terrible. So you don't have precise control, but here is my setting. And I think that brings it back as close as possible. Unfortunately, because you can't control the mids independently of the lows and the highs, you really can't bring up the mids the way you want without losing a ton of bass and a ton of treble. The biggest frustration around the first generation was battery leakage and just poor battery life in general. The second version fixes all that, and even though it says it gets 7 hours, I'm getting about 6.5, and the case itself holds about 21 hours of charge. It's not the golden standard by any means compared to things like the Galaxy Buds, which get 11 hours per charge, which is pretty amazing, but it's still pretty good. The only downside is at this price point, you're still not getting any kind of wireless charging on the case. Just like the first generation, the left bud on these cannot be used by itself. However, with the first generation, if the right and left bud were about 6 or 7 inches apart, the left one would completely disconnect and just be useless. With the new model, the left and right bud can be as far apart as Bluetooth will allow it to go, and they'll still work. And while that's not as convenient as, say, the AirPod Pros or the Sonys that let you use them independently, it's still really nice when you want to share a bud with somebody and not have to deal with all the wires, or it just won't be as intimate as it used to be with the first generation. Uh-oh, the audio cut out. Looks like we have to get closer. Sennheiser has added more mics to each bud, and that means two things. One is that your audio transparency mode is going to be fantastic, and I mean so much better than the old version, and I personally think it's the best audio transparency of all the earbuds that I've tested. It also means that your call quality, your mic quality when you make phone calls is going to be a little bit better. Just hedge your expectations. It's not going to be amazing. Your butt is all the way up here. Your mouth is all the way down here. I mean, how good do you expect it to be, right? So hedge your expectations. It's going to be marginally better. For you runners out there, I did run with these, and because of the additional mics, it does pick up quite a bit of wind noise. It also picked up the sound of me dying, and that's something you might want to consider. Unlike the first generation, this new model allows you to remap every single touch command using the app, and it is amazing that you can do that. Thank you so much, Sennheiser, for including that option. Kind of related to that is that the feedback volume in general is slightly lowered, which is kind of nice. The left earbud, whenever you connect it, it now lets you know that it's connected, again, which is nice because sometimes it would bug out and you would never know. And another thing that they've added is every time you touch the bud, there's a change in pitch. So before it was like doot, doot, now it's like doot, doot, doot. It's like a small little thing, but it's nice because then it lets you know how many times you touched it, as opposed to just kind of waiting there to see if the action that you commanded worked. So nice little features there. You might be wondering whether that remapping is going to come to the first generation. Well, as of this recording, the answer is no, they haven't added it. Sennheiser managed to make the buds smaller, and even though on paper it doesn't seem like much, if you use the first generation, it feels significantly smaller. It's pretty cool. Here they are back to back, and in case you're wondering, the new buds fit and can be charged in the old case since the pins still align, but the old buds are way too big for the new case. The case is smaller, but not by much. I think all the space savings from the buds basically went to putting in a bigger battery. So much so that if you were to hold the new case without any buds in it, it's heavier than the old case with the buds in it. The magnet also feels stronger on the new case as well. So what didn't they change? 3 things. The most frustrating thing is that this still cannot pair to multiple devices. And in 2020, for a $300 pair of earbuds, that's not okay. Come on, Sennheiser, we were so close. Second thing they didn't change is the IPX rating. It's still an IPX4 rating, which means it is impervious to splashes, but not to dunking in water. And the third thing they didn't change is that there's still no wireless charging available for the case, which, I don't know, take it or leave it. I never found it to be that useful anyway, but for $300, might have been something good to see. Overall, what do I think? I think Sennheiser made a great successor to the Momentum True Wireless ones, and if you're somebody who really cares about audio quality, well, now you can finally pick something up that has great audio quality and doesn't come with all the bugs, and that is a huge deal, and that is a huge leap forward for Sennheiser and for wireless earbuds in general, and I highly recommend them. Do you guys plan on picking these up? Let me know in the comments below why or why not, and I'd love to chat with some of you guys. Until next time, everybody, stay honest.